So let's talk about creating your irresistible offer. Peace family, Coach Tice here, and welcome to part one of a four-part series titled The Content to Sales Formula, where I break down the exact approach and strategies I use to help coaches just like yourself attract quality pre-sold $2,000 to $10,000 high ticket clients. And today we're going to be talking about one of the most important foundations of your coaching business, which is going to be your offer. And so let's look at it like this. I want you to think about your coaching business as a vehicle, like as an actual car. Now, there are a couple of different main fluid components of a car. You've got your transmission fluid, you've got your motor oil, the oil that actually powers a motor, and then you got your gas, your gasoline, that is the actual fuel for you to go from one place to another. Imagine how far you feel like that car would go if you had a full tank of gas, you had your transmission fuel, it's fine, but you had no oil in your engine, right? Now, if any of you guys that ever got it out the mud and you done drove your car with no oil in the engine, you know you might be able to make it from one destination to another, but that's probably be about it. What's going to happen is the engine is going to overheat, the pistons are going to start rubbing against each other, the gasket cover is going to blow, and your car is going to break down, and you're going to be on the side of the road with your engine smoking and people looking like this when they ride past, like, damn, that's crazy. And so I say that to say that's what building a coaching or consulting business is when you're trying to implement marketing systems and all these really, really big, cool things on top of an offer that's not irresistible, that's not selling, and it's not valuable to your audience. And so let's go ahead and break it down. So guys, the first rule of thumb for an offer is you want to sell people what they want, not what you believe they should want. This is a big challenge with a lot of coaches, especially coaches in the health and wellness space, life coaching space, where you've kind of been in the industry or you solved such a high level problem at such a deep depth that, like, as a fitness coach, you know that your clients need like mindset work, right? But they don't think they need mindset work. And so you try to sell a fitness program or a fitness offer around mindset, but your audience is kind of like, I kind of don't want to hear that. I kind of just want to learn what to eat, or I kind of just want to lose the weight, right? And so there's a couple of reasons why typically people aren't able to attract enough qualified clients through their offer. And that is that the offer is, again, selling what they feel the audience needs as opposed to what there's an actual demand for. And we're going to talk about that. Maybe the offer is not solving a real problem, or they're being commoditized. So like you're being commoditized, you're being seen as a nice to have. So maybe you haven't really found like that pain point in that problem that really moves people to want to search for a solution. So now you're getting a bunch of objections. People are not seeing valuable because it's actually just not that valuable to them. Again, it solves a problem, but maybe not a big enough problem. Another big thing is that you are misarticulating the value of your offer, meaning you're selling deliverables or the work instead of the actual transformation. You're an online coach and you're selling Zoom calls and a meal plan as opposed to the clarity that comes with having a structured and customized meal plan, the accountability and the consistency that comes with weekly Zoom calls. You're just misarticulating the actual value of your thing, and that's why people aren't perceiving it as valuable. Another thing is that you have a lackluster packaging to deliver results. So you haven't really thought about what this needs to actually look like, and you cannot really articulate that. And as a result, people don't really know what they're buying or what result they're buying into. Okay, so let's talk about what it looks like to create an offer that your audience will want to buy. Now, this offer is going to need to, number one, be clear and digestible to your audience. I always say, guys, money runs away from confusion. And the reason being is because when people are not necessarily clear on what they're getting out of something, they get a little confused, and people don't make decisions when they're confused. Another thing that you may want to consider is, are you solving a problem that your audience is aware of and they're urgently looking to solve, right? This is big when we start to talk about like positioning and the actual offer itself. Are you solving a problem, that somebody in your audience is saying, hey, I know this is a problem. I wake up every day and I think about this. But also, I'm really, really trying to solve this problem. Like, I've been trying to do a lot. I've invested in this. I've tried this before. There's got to be some demand behind it. You want to be able to present your offer in a way that makes your audience literally regretful for not taking you up on it, right? So how do you do that? You do that by being able to, number one, have a clear offer, have a really, really strong result that you're offering that has a lot of desire behind it. And of course, package your offer into a high level delivery structure that you feel confident pitching. One of the parts of building irresistible offer is you got to feel like you would buy it yourself. You got to feel like that is a no-brainer offer from me. Because once you have that confidence, you will always feel clear and confident. And when you're selling and when you're articulating that value to a potential client. So now let's keep it going. I want to give you guys a case study, an example here of an offer that I reworked with a client of mine. So my client here was offering to help digital entrepreneurs increase their day-to-day performance and productivity in their business. And he had an issue with getting, number one, getting enough leads, and number two, getting enough of the right type of leads, the right type of qualified potential clients. And so let's take a look at his initial offer here. His initial offer was, I will help you master your peak performance in 5 weeks or less. Now, while this sounds like a pretty decent offer, just from a verbiage standpoint, he was getting a lot of objections. And again, he wasn't getting a lot of lead flow. But let's break down why. Well, first things first is, let's talk about language here. When we talk about clarity, what would you define as master? This is kind of vague. It's a little bit subjective, right? And that can be up for interpretation. Like when I think about master, I think about 10,000 hours, right? And so how would you do that in 5 weeks? I don't have 10,000 hours in 5 weeks, okay? Another thing is, what is peak performance? Like, this can mean different things to different people. For a salesman, for an entrepreneur, for an athlete. For example, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a salesman in my business, right? I also like work out. I do a lot of training, athletic. I do a lot of fighting style fitness. So peak performance can literally mean multiple things for me. Like, it's open for interpretation. So like, what are the tangible results? And can you see how this guys can lead, just that little bit of confusion can lead to create less desire to take action? And when I say take action, that's somebody booking a call, that's somebody opting into his webinar, following him on Instagram, shooting him a DM, because it's just like when they get presented that offer, it's just like, there's just a little bit of room for misinterpretation, which ultimately is a misarticulation of value. So let's bring it to the other side. We refined the offer. And what we really broke it down to, based on the results he was getting his clients, by the way, we didn't just like whip up some words and say, hey, this is the new offer. We looked at the results he was getting his clients. And what he noticed is that a lot of his clients were doubling their revenue by working with him. And so what we did was we said, hey, let's get more specific here. And so what we did was refine to, I will help you double your coaching or consulting business revenue in 5 weeks or less, guaranteed. Now, what made this offer convert at a way higher level is, number one, it presents a clear and tangible results. People aren't buying the peak performance. They're buying doubling their coaching and consulting business revenue in 5 weeks. The offer is outcome driven. And of course, ultimately, he was promising an outcome and solving a problem that his ideal client was aware of and urgently working towards. Can you guys see the difference between an offer that was doing okay versus an offer that created so much irresistibility that it literally changed the paradigm of his coaching business, of his lead flow, of the quality of leads that he was getting? And so this is just one example, guys, of what it looks like to create an irresistible offer for your audience. Because remember, without having an offer that solves a problem that your audience is aware of and urgently looking to solve, it's literally like trying to drive a car that has a full tank of gas. Maybe you got some transmission fuel in it because you got certain things set up right in the business, but you don't have the main components oiled up and ready to go. So you don't go very far. All right, guys, so listen, this is just one part of this 4-part series called the Content to Sales Formula. Now, what I want you to do next is, if you want to get the full document and you want to kind of get ahead of everybody else, just feel free to DM me Content to Sales or click the link in the description to go ahead and join the free Facebook group, the Content to Sales Collective. But what we're going to be doing inside of the next video is going over the next component after your offer, which is your messaging, how you actually position the value of that offer to your audience, right? I want to talk about how that messaging specifically is tied to the quality of leads that you are attracting. So guys, I appreciate if it's happening. If you found value from this, feel free to drop a comment, drop a like, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel if you found value in this video.